What is up, guys? Dzeeff here, and yesterday Konami revealed a brand new OCG Synchro monster that looks pretty darn broken if you ask me. In today's video we are going to talk about that card, but first I wanted to take a look at this new remote Duel YCS announcement. So this is alongside another announcement. They announced that they are canceling the 2021 Yu-Gi-Oh! World Championship, which, if I'm being honest, I didn't really know that that was a thing to begin with, but apparently it is now canceled. So the same day I found out about it was the same day that I found out it wasn't going to happen. But we also had this brand new remote Duel YCS announcement, and this was very exciting. I'm super hyped for this event. People have been saying that they should do a remote Duel YCS for a while now. We keep having those big extravaganza events that have hundreds of players in a remote duel event. So a YCS was like the next step up, and I think that is pretty cool. Let's take a look at what they say here. They say, you can still take on the top duelists in the Americas in our biggest remote duel event yet, Remote Duel YCS. Win unique prizes and experience a premier Yu-Gi-Oh! Championship Series event from your home. More details will be coming. Please check the website for announcements. So we don't really know a lot about this. We don't know when it's going to be. We don't know how many people can enter, but this is awesome, and I think a lot of people are going to be very excited for this type of event. Now, I know some people might be worried about cheating in a remote Duel YCS, especially if they have really big prizes, but luckily there should be plenty of judges, and if you suspect your opponent is doing something that's not allowed, you could always call a judge. Anyway, that is the remote Duel YCS announcement. Like I said, I have no idea when this will be, but I can pretty much guarantee that I will be playing in this event. I am super excited to play in a YCS again. And this is really great too, because unlike a normal YCS, you don't have to spend hundreds of dollars on a plane ticket or hundreds of dollars on a hotel for a weekend. So this is a lot more budget friendly, which is really great. Trust me, when there is more information about this event, I will be talking about it on the channel. I hope a lot of people enter this. I hope it goes really well, and I hope a lot of people have fun playing in a YCS once again. On to the card though, we have the Stellar Wind Wolf, a new level 9 Wind Beast Synchro monster. Here's the deal. I have seen a lot of people misread this card's effect. Even if you go on like the replies to this tweet, a lot of people miss certain parts of this card's effect when they read it for the first time. So let's take a look at what this card does. Stellar Wind Wolf is a level 9 Wind Beast Synchro with 2500 attack and 0 defense. It is a generic level 9, by the way. It takes 1 tuner plus 1 or more non-tuner monsters, so super easy to make in any deck that could make a level 9 Synchro. You don't need anything specific to bring this card out. You can only control one Stellar Wind Wolf. You're not going to be ending with multiple copies of this card. Each time another monster's effect is activated while this card has less than 4000 attack, this card gains 300 attack. So might seem kind of weird, but take a look at the final effect here. Once per turn, if this card's attack is 4000 or more, quick effect, shuffle this card and all monsters your opponent controls into the deck. So it only takes 5 monster effects to get this card to 4000 attack. And that might seem like a lot, especially after you've already summoned a level 9 Synchro, but it doesn't only count your monster effects, it also counts your opponent's. So even if you were only able to activate like 2 or 3 monster effects after you summoned this card, you can be pretty sure your opponent is going to get you to that 4000 attack, because they are probably going to activate a few monster effects. And once this card gets to 4000 attack, then things get pretty interesting. It basically has a Rainbow Neos effect as a quick effect on a generic level 9 Synchro, and that is absolutely insane. This card is very scary once it gets to 4000 attack. Shuffling all monsters into the deck is insanely overpowered. Now you might think it's a downside that it only shuffles back monsters into the deck. I think it's kind of cool because it means if you were able to summon this card and play some back row behind it, well, when you shuffle back a bunch of monsters, you'll still have all of those back row cards to stop whatever follow-up plays your opponent had. And that is a really big turn one. This card plus some back row, that's going to be fairly difficult to deal with in my opinion. Now, what are some ways you could counter this card? I mean, obviously effect negation like Dark Ruler No More or Droplet, those are going to be great cards, but I also think that one of the more interesting counters is Nightmare Cerberus. If your opponent didn't summon this card in the extra monster zone, you could summon Nightmare Cerberus and pop it by discarding a card out of your hand. And you might even be able to do that without committing too many other monsters on the board. That could be one of the better ways to deal with this monster. Now, of course, your opponent might shuffle back your 2 monsters if this card does have 4,000 attack, and if they are afraid of you playing Nightmare Cerberus, but even in that situation, that's not the biggest loss that you could take. You want to force your opponent to use this card when they're not getting that much value out of it, and to me it seems like they would want to shuffle back at least 3 monsters with this effect to truly get a lot of value out of it. Obviously, if you can hit like 4 or 5 or 6 monsters, that would be even better, but it seems like 3 monsters is pretty realistic and pretty good if you can do it. I do want to mention here though that I am pretty excited for this card, even if it might be a little bit broken, and I'll tell you why. It's because this card has no negation ability. If you remember, a while back I made a video on negation fatigue. I was getting pretty sick of Konami printing so many negation extra deck monsters. People would end on Borreload Savage Dragon and Herald of Arclight and Red Eyes Dark Dragoon. Now those cards are all different and they have different ways to negate things, but it could feel kind of like the same thing over and over again when you were playing against those types of cards, because at the end of the day your opponent was always ending on a bunch of negation extra deck monsters. So I asked for more extra deck monsters that do interrupt the opponent but not by negating cards, and that's exactly what this card does. So even if it might be a tiny bit broken, which I do think it is, I think it's cool at least that it's not a negation effect. They could have easily made this card say negate 1 effect if this card has 4,000 or more attack points, and it probably still would have been pretty good. But this way they give players more options, and that means that turn 1 ending boards are a little bit more diverse, which is great. That's pretty much all I have to say about this card though. I hope you guys enjoyed today's discussion. Let me know in the comment section below what you think about this new level 9 Synchro. I think it's great in design and in power, but let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Anyway, I will see you guys later. Thank you so much for watching today's video. Goodbye.